Marketing in the age of AI, the show for leaders who want real results, not more noise. Join Emmanuel Rose as he helps business builders turn AI from a confusing add-on into a practical advantage with clearer messaging, stronger trust, and smarter systems. If you felt a shift happening in real time, you're not imagining it. In the agentic pivot, Emmanuel calls it the move from experimenting with AI to building with it, so it supports your team, your brand, and your growth. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI. I'm Emmanuel Rose, and today's guest is Rodrigo Lobo Perez Maldonado, founder of Canai. Rodrigo came up through finance, is an MBA, and studied at the University of Washington, and has led industrial businesses as CEO and founders of other companies. And after running asset-heavy operations, he launched Canai in 2024 to help owners create operational clarity and assess AI readiness before investing in automation. Rodrigo, it's great to see you again.
Hi, Emmanuel. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it was fun to catch up with you in Reno and have dinner and see somebody in person. So
Yeah, that was great.
I really enjoyed that. I hope we can do that again at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let's talk about let's see, operational clarity is a prerequisite for automation. What are three of the things that you look for in order to make something automated?
So yeah, to start off, I mean, I've been working with businesses that have super complex processes and businesses that don't have any processes at all. So
Yeah.
I like to look at the three things are basically them having a pretty good digital infrastructure, so having actual databases, having actual places where you can call an API or do something with it.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing. The other thing is to have actual I'm getting mixed up with languages, but
That's okay.
uh,
Yeah, take your time.
the like employee procedures, they need to have like that down pretty well, and then also their interaction with either stakeholders, vendors, clients, etc. We need to map all of that out, so I like to do that before even talking about anything to do with AI or with automation, because
Yeah.
I think if you don't have that down, you basically have nothing.
No, that's true. And is there some kind of a tool that you use for that SOP visualization?
So I just got certified as a 4C consultant. It's called, and it's a methodology created by an actual friend of mine called Eduardo Vasquez here in Monterrey, Mexico, and he's been certifying a lot of consultants for this, and he developed a software where basically we can run the whole consultancy part on there. We run like a interviewing with leadership first, and then we do like a day in the life auditing of workers, and we feed all of that information into the platform, and it really helps us out like to see exactly what to focus on.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what is the underpinning of that? An LLM that he developed himself, or is it on top of something like
No,
Claude?
I'm pretty sure it's on top of Claude or
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he actually uses like N8N to run it on the background. But yeah, he
yeah,
he doesn't. I don't think he created an actual LLM. He basically
I
just trained
got you.
something.
I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, well, this one is one that I created, which is an SOP reviewer that is an AI supported
Okay.
standard operating procedure um, charter. I guess is how it helps people think about it, visualize it, and it's like a 14-step process.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's cool. So I think we're aligned in that you've got to have your standard operating procedures.
Yeah.
You got to understand. Usually, what the studies that I'm seeing now is about 30% of the work that executives and managers do should be automated. What are you
Yeah.
finding?
Yeah, close to that, or even maybe a bit more, because a lot of I'm not maybe I'm focusing more on what people would call like grunt work, but not
Okay.
like a manager or a leader level, more in the downstairs part.
Yeah.
um I think there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of copy pasting between Excel spreadsheets, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of replying to emails with generic stuff. So like that's a lot of what I'm seeing for manager level. I'm helping them more out with actually creating like dashboards with information that's actually
Nice.
worthwhile for them, because I know like there's a lot of a Power BI that's being like supercharged now with AI. But down here in Mexico, not a lot of people use it actually. So having something custom made for them is what I'm working on for at that level.
Well, talk to me about dashboards. It's one of my favorite tools from AI, and I've been using Claude Code
Yeah.
and to build dashboards. Well, what's your process for dashboarding?
Basically the same thing. I mean, I'm using Cloud Code. I am actually I just found a tool a couple of days ago called Story. I think it's called. Let me look at it again. It's called Story Block. So it's
Okay.
Story BLOQ, and it's like a pipeline board or a timeline manager for
Okay.
Claude.
Yeah.
So you can basically map out your whole dashboard. For example, if we're going to go with that, you can map out the
Okay.
whole dashboard
Like a
there.
Figma, like Figma. Do you know that
It's
one?
Yeah, but it's not the design part. I'm actually talking about like
Okay.
actually building it. Like
Gotcha.
it's like a story block. I mean, where you can move like from open tickets in progress and completed, but it's
Uh-huh.
always feeding Claude each session everything that you've made, and it creates like a nice little like a Kanban kind
Oh,
of look.
nice.
And
Uh-huh.
so I was using that to actually build a dashboard for a client, and it's working out great because he's asking for like little tweaks here and there, and it's super easy to just plug it in here and then pull it into Claude, and I
Yeah.
mean it works great actually.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I found there's some Google tools that you can that also help with the dashboards. But for me, the Claude Code has been pretty good
Yeah,
for me for top of the funnel things like how many cold emails did we send and how many were opened and those sorts of
yeah,
things. It displays it very cleanly.
I'd love to look at that actually.
Yeah, well, we could do a little session
Yeah.
afterwards. Let's see if I could pull it up real quick, and you could at least see what it looks like, and
Okay.
could tell me how you'd want to see it different.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There we go. Get this up, and I'll share this screen. See if I can make all these windows work.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. You able to see that?
Yeah. Yeah. I can see it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So it has I've found 170 leads, and then 116 of them are in process of a five
Okay.
sequence cold outreach process. There's nothing left to do today. We only sent 5 emails. We've sent 105, and we've got 5 opens.
Okay.
Uh, and then it shows where they're just that little visual of how many we send
Yeah.
each day and then which verticals they're in. So
Okay.
I'm targeting I think six geos close to me in these verticals, and then it's showing me what's actually happened with the emails.
That's great.
So
And
yeah,
you're
and then
using
I
it's all I was gonna ask like in
it's
Google
okay.
Drive with
Yeah,
CSVs and
yeah,
things like that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's this tool. I built this tool yesterday.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy that you can build out things like that super quick now.
Yeah, and so it's funny. I was talking to a client, and they're like, "Well, I'm concerned because we're going to have 9 hospitals, and that's like 75 departments, and I don't know how we're going to manage all that information." I said,
Yeah,
"Don't even worry. We just
yeah,
chart it out, and
yeah.
once we chart it out, we just build it out. It's not a big deal."
Exactly. Exactly. One of my clients, I don't think I don't know if I was working with them when we last talked, but they're EV charging installers.
Okay.
But they work with the actual car dealerships, not with like
Oh,
it's B2B, not B2C. So
yeah.
like a car dealership can sell the installation, and it's, I mean, they're in 8 states here in Mexico. It's a lot of people, a lot of cities, a lot of clients, and
Yeah.
managing all that is a problem. They've been having trouble with that, and that's where I kind of stepped in and helped them build all that dashboard out. I helped them build out their CRM, all with Claude.
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it was
So
pretty
you
good.
built a custom CRM for them also?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I did it in Claude and in Notion. So the actual CRM
Hmm.
lives in Notion, but all the
Yeah.
logic behind it, it's Claude and N8N basically.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'd love to see the user interface of that if you want to send that to me.
Yeah.
Because we talked about that in a startup I'm working with, and I couldn't picture it. So we ended up buying a tool, an AI
Okay.
assisted CRM called Revo.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like now you can say, "Hey, do I want to spend a week building this, or do I want
Yeah.
to spend
Just
three
buy it.
hours reviewing it and then paying for it?" Right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. No, in this case, they weren't like this is probably going to be a stepping stone for them to
Yeah,
something bigger. Since they didn't have a lot of processes down, I kind of wanted to like get really in the weeds with them, and building it out was probably more enriching for me than it was for them, just to
yeah.
be able to get to know their business completely and help them out and like try to spot certain opportunities and things to work with in certain points.
And then how are you, I guess, integrating these AI agents into something like a CRM?
So basically, when it's not super complex, I'm just using N8N or
Uh-huh.
something like Make, um, just to get that rolling. We can then probably host it on Vercel, but I'm not we're not there yet with them. We're just working it on an N8N, so it's easier to tweak and everything, and it's more visual. They like to see like where the executions are happening and things like that. So it's better for them that way. And also, we're actually using the Notion AI quite a bit because they had all their information in Google Sheets. So importing it to Notion was a big task, and then
Okay.
having the Notion AI kind of clean that information has been great. Like they had, for example, in their database, they have each car salesman that referred the client. But sometimes they put their first name, sometimes it was the last name, sometimes it was
All right.
misspelled, and
Yeah.
they just didn't have any consistency with that, and it was like screwing up with AI like crazy. So we ran some audits on that information and kind of cleaned all that information up, and it's been great. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. No, I think it's interesting. Yeah, how the data hygiene becomes even more critical
yeah.
for some of these tools, right?
Yeah, if you don't have data hygiene at all, or if your data is dirty, it's better off not even implementing AI, I think.
Right. Well, what are some of the other things that you found that you've found to automate with some of your clients?
Like customer documents is the number one thing. Basically, it's super easy to just like for example, creating like remission documents or like order documents where they need to
Hmm.
send out like an actual PDF with all the client information. Just automating those kind of things and templates. It's super low hanging fruit, and it, it really saves a lot of time for the clients, because if you have somebody actually typing that out every time and it's just the same exact information, like name date amount,
Right.
like an invoice or something like that, it's super, it's grunt work. I mean, it shouldn't be done by a human.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. All the way up to, I built this great custom GPT. I told you about it. That is my
Yeah.
proposal generator, right? So similar to what you're talking about, I take the videos of the Zoom calls, put those transcripts in to the custom GPT, and then it spits out the 10-page proposal with the
I
executive
have the exact
summary
same
and good,
thing
better,
actually.
best package. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. I mean, I don't even have to think about what to quote on a project or anything. It just spits it out. Just kind of look through it, make sure everything's the I's are dotted, and that's about it.
So I think of myself as a kind of like a prosumer coder, right? Like I'm not a software developer
Yeah.
by education or by training. But what about you? Are you a software dev or are you
Nope.
learning all this on your own?
Now I'm learning it on my own. I used to hire out a lot of the work, but now with Cloud Code, I've basically moved to just doing it all by myself. I before I finally ship everything out for like once we're done with a client, when we're completely done, I do hire somebody to audit security. I usually do it
Yeah,
like on Fiverr or Upwork or things like that, just to
yeah.
like make sure I'm not screwing anything up, and so that I don't lose any trust from a client with a big mishap. But yeah, basically I've been just learning through all this. I've always loved tech. I mean, I created my first website when I was maybe like 12 or 13 years old. But I mean, it
Nice.
was it was a long time ago, and I never actually got any formal training in coding. So now Claude is kind of, I'm just watching him work.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And are you using any of the tools for the co-work tools?
I do put, like, for example, for I like to actually answer my LinkedIn messages by myself, but I do
Yeah,
feed it into Cowork just to get a sense of like what it's thinking about, what the client is implying, maybe, or the potential lead actually is implying, or whatever. So I feed it into that, and then from there I get a couple of ideas for answering those messages, and then I go back and answer. Also, in my other business, in my scrap metal business, I did something kind of crazy there. I uploaded all the information for a oil rig that we had to dismantle, and it basically created the whole project by like what we needed to do in there, and what steps we needed to take, the engineering behind it, that like where to cut in certain parts and everything. And it was I mean, it was great, and we actually we had to present it to the Mexican, what would you call it, like the Mexican Marine Force, and they were like, "Whoa, who made this?" Like it was super complete. It was far beyond anything they'd ever seen.
yeah, it is amazing how detailed it can get in some of the answers that are technical
Yeah,
like that. That's cool.
yeah,
A great
yeah,
use.
yeah.
Well, I guess what are you seeing for the rest of the year for the work that you're doing?
Um,
Any ideas for new products or offers?
no, I'm basically just moving on with the same kind of offering with for client consulting. But I do feel that we're gonna get. I mean, it's been something that's kind of popular in the AI space this past week. But the AI cost, the cost of actually running AIs, that's gonna. I mean, the subsidizing of it by OpenAI and by Anthropic, it's basically over. So that's gonna
Yeah.
be interesting when those bills come due. If it's gonna be more expensive than actually having an employee do the work, or having an AI do the work.
Yeah, that is going to be I call it the VC reckoning, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, I mean, the AI bubble and the stock prices and everything. I mean, that's one thing. But I'm thinking about the actual cost of using it in a
Yep.
company. That's gonna be, yeah. What I mean, yeah. VCs want their money, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We've all been riding on this kind of wind of VC money, and yeah, it's gonna continue to get more expensive, especially when
Yeah,
they're investing all this money in data centers, right?
yeah. Exactly,
Are
exactly.
they building data centers down by you?
Not that we know of. I mean, our politicians, they'll say whatever to get a vote. And there's one. I'm not even gonna get into like say a name, but one person here said that Nvidia was gonna build a data center down here. and turned out to be completely false. Like it was completely fake news. But I mean, there is a lot of nearshoring here, so I imagine it's not far off. But we also have some pretty big energy problems here, so I don't know if we're gonna have the energy in Mexico to actually have big data centers.
Yeah, energy and water, right? It takes two
Yeah,
pretty vital resources.
yeah, exactly.
Well, let's see. If somebody wants to get some work done in Mexico or understand more about the Mexican AI market, how would they get in touch with you?
They can send me an email at Rodrigo at kinai.ai. We'll probably need to spell that out somehow.
Yeah, we'll have it in the show notes. Yeah.
Yeah, and kinai.ai is the website. You can also find me on LinkedIn as Rodrigo Lobo. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, I really I appreciate you taking some time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Talk with me. Yeah, it's good. Good to catch up again, and I
Yeah,
hope that you make your way through Reno again so we can hang out.
it's gotta be ski season though. We have to have some snow. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll hope for that next year.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Thanks, Rodrigo. It's good to see
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Well, as always, it's a good reminder to chart out your standard operating procedures or what you're actually doing each hour of each day, and then finding those that 30 or 40% of your time that should be achieved. The output should be achieved by software rather than by human interaction. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Rodrigo Lobo. I did. I also hope that you take time to dig deep into some AI tools or into your LLM and find a way to create custom GPTs or projects that are time savers for you. And with that time, you continue to upskill, that you spend it with your friends and family, or that you get outside into nature, skiing, golfing, camping, or just going for a hike and get away from the screens. It's Emmanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you